Okay, class, today we're going to be working on an activity. It's something new that we've never tried before, but I think it'll be fun. It's called a cloze activity. It's where I give you a sentence or a paragraph or a few sentences that have words missing in them. It could be any of the words, and you have to use your brain to try to figure out what you think that missing word might be. So I think this will be fun. And you're going to be working in groups too, so you guys can kind of collaborate and see if you can figure out the words together. But first, I'm going to give you a couple examples just so you can see how this works. The first example is just one sentence. It says, I went on a blank to the park. I went on a blank to the park. Now I want you to think for a second. There could be a bunch of words that fit in here. So it's just kind of whatever you think makes sense to you. I know I have one in particular that I'm probably looking for, but there's a ton of words that could fit here. But I want to hear your ideas, so raise your hand if you think you can tell me one. Okay, you went on a walk to the park. That's what I would have thought, because some people like to walk to the park, get fresh air and exercise. What's something else that could fit in here? A ride. You went on a ride to the park. I know some of you ride in the car with your parents when you go to the park, so that could be a great answer. And there's other things that fit here too that could make sense. But let's try another sentence. My cat has long blank that tickle me when I give him kisses. My cat has long blank that tickle me when I give him kisses. Now this one might be a little trickier because some of you probably don't have cats and maybe you don't know. But let's think about cats. What can tickle you when you give a cat a kiss? If you put your face and you give him a kiss, what could tickle you? Their ears? No, do you think their ears would tickle you if you go to give them a kiss? Their whiskers. Yeah, that's what I was looking for. Their whiskers could tickle you. They have really long whiskers that could tickle your face when you go to kiss them. So that's a word that would make sense in there. So I'm going to put you into groups now, and you're going to work on one of these on your own. And every group is going to have a different paragraph to work with. And there's multiple missing words in these paragraphs. There's not just one, so it might be a little trickier. But you're going to work with your group members to try to figure out what those words are. But I want you to collaborate and see what everybody thinks before you choose a final word to fit in there. And if you guys can't really agree, you can pick a couple of words that might make sense there, but make sure they do make sense. And I'm going to be coming around to help you. But don't look at other groups' papers, because they're going to be different. Not everybody's going to have the same thing. So for the groups, I would give them each different activities. I would pick the groups based off of their reading levels and give them paragraphs or sentences, maybe shorter or longer, depending on their reading levels and what I think they might need work on. So for an example, if I have a paragraph like this one, I take out the words that would possibly help them with their semantics skills. So they'd be key words in here that would make up the content of the paragraph. So it says, I went for a ride with my blank to the blank. I wanted to blank some blank, but I wasn't allowed to. The blank was so blank, I couldn't believe it. My blank and blank had a great time at the blank. So they could put basically anything in these little blanks here that would make sense because it's pretty basic, but it's just for me to kind of see what they think of, because that can tell me a lot about their thinking process. And this might go to some of the kids that are on a higher reading level, because then they can pick whatever words they think fit in there, and it could vary. But another thing I've noticed, a lot of kids tend to get there, and there mixed up. And this would be an amazing activity to get them to figure out the differences between the theirs. But obviously that would be taught first, and this would just be a little bit of a review to see if they know the differences. But something like this, you would give them a key with the different theirs, and they have to fill in these blanks with which there fits best. So I have, there are 23 kids in the class. They're going on a field trip today. Their teacher knows that they're going to be on their best behavior the whole time. If they are, they will get to see some amazing things at Broker Creek. So they would fill in all the theirs with the correct there. And I think that would be a really cool activity too. Another thing I feel like this would be great for is vocabulary. If you're constantly learning new vocabulary, and if you find that there's some things that may be a little tricky for them, an activity like this where you put the vocabulary word in different sentences and maybe give them a word bank of the different vocabulary, they could fit it in there and you could see if they get the concept of the vocabulary, which I think would be a really cool activity too. Yeah, so that was the Cloze activity. It could be used in a bunch of different ways. I was gearing this more to a first or second grade class with an easier reading level, but it could be done across all grade levels. The book went up to 12th grade. You would just vary your passages and how many blanks there are, how long the passage is, based on their grade level and their reading level. And you would group them based on those levels too, so they're working with kids with like levels. So that was the Cloze activity. Thank you.